So nice to have you in Finland again. I think it's been 10 years since you were here last time. We just talked about it with Hannu that you were supporting Dream Theater at the House of Culture in Paradise Lost tour, I think, which was in 2009 or 10 or something.
It was a while
So
ago.
how's it been like to be here again?
Yeah, it's good. I think the show's sold out tonight, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You got to come here more often.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and I know, I think, like, because a lot of people ask us, how come you don't come up this way a lot?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it is, is the finances, and it's a lot of the traveling and trying to make the logistics of it work. But this time we're like, we're going to do it no matter what. You know, no matter what, we're going to get here. So here we are.
Yeah. But no new album to promote yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, after we did the last album, we did a lot of touring, and we just kind of took a little break. Russ was working on some things. I was doing a solo thing. LaPon was doing some stuff, and then Russ was involved in an accident, and it just seemed like we just needed a little time for everybody to kind of regroup and do their own things, and then that's why we decided to do this. It's like, okay, I did my solo thing, and Russ, had a little time to, after something like a tragic accident, you need a little bit of time to spend with your family,
exactly.
Kind of gather your thoughts. So, I think there was enough time. Everybody had the time to do what they wanted to do, and we just said, let's instead of working on a record, let's just go out and tour a little bit. Just get everybody back together, back on the page, and have some fun. And so that's what we're doing here. We're kind of just getting back in. And as far as the record, after we get back, we have another run in South America, July and August. But once we get back to the States, in the fall, after that, at the end of the summer, we're going to talk about a record and what we're going to do.
So no new material actually exists yet?
No, not yet. And usually we'll just sit around and come up with some ideas, what's it kind of going to be about. But once that happens, it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So when you started touring, how much work did it take, or did it just get in like, okay, we're back together, let's play and bum, or was it just
it took a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to do, since it's not the Underworld tour, it's we just said, let's just do a little bit of everything from every record. Let's do, this song. We're going to play the Odyssey tonight, which we haven't played in a while. So it's like, let's just play different stuff. So it took a couple of rehearsals to kind of get the rust off and get some of those songs up to speed. But it was it's like riding a bike. We just come down to the rehearsal place, hang out, and just jam.
Yeah. So this tour is indeed a bit different because I saw you at the Sweden Rock in 2016, and you played the whole of Underworld.
Yeah, right.
From start to finish, not in order, but I think the whole record.
Which usually, if we have a record, So that's what's kind of cool about this. It's just like we can play whatever. We don't have to play. I mean, obviously we're playing some songs from that album, but we're doing some other things too. So it's cool.
Yeah.
It's actually cool not to have to worry about playing all the new stuff.
Yeah.
So it's good in a lot of ways, and it's good that we're all kind of, everybody went through some things, and we're doing different things, and now it's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah. So was there ever a point during the last 4 years that you thought about, okay, maybe Symphony X is now as a back burner, you're not going to tour at all anymore? Because I think Russell made some comment that he wasn't really into singing anymore with the band, but obviously it was great.
I think, I mean, I remember talking to him in I mean, like I said, after, going through some kind of a tragic or, an experience like that.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, man. I mean, it probably, fucks with you a little bit. And he said, he was apprehensive a little bit, traveling, but here we are.
And it's great.
And it's all good.
Together. And it's been 25 years, really. So looking back 25 years, if someone had told you, okay, you're sitting here talking to...
I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. So another 25 years.
I don't know about that.
What do you think?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll do it as long as we can do it. As long as people show up, and I mean, all of us still love music. I still love to write.
Yeah.
I still love to play. So as long as that's there.
I know you've all done solo projects. You did your own album. Russell's done many things, and Michael has done even more. And I think the other Mike has done also So you know how much of that feeds into the Symphony X of all your experiences that you do in your own way.
I mean, I just think everyone just likes to go and do little side things or solo records just to maybe do something different. Like with my thing, there's some things that I know the band wouldn't do. So it was like, okay, just having fun, doing a little something different. And then when it's time for the band, we all come back and that's what we do, what the band does. But yeah, the solo things and other things, it's always good. And I'm always about, playing on albums of friends of mine, or if it was my thing, guys that I knew, guys that I grew up with, which is a kind of cool thing too, it's a more laid back thing.
Yeah.
And the band is always like that, because I mean, we've known each other forever and we're all pals, man. So it's just like right back to it.
And I think it makes it interesting that you don't do all the same things at the same time,
Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, everyone does do different things, but when the band has something to do,
Yeah, that's a priority for you. Yeah. So how about your own? You did your War of Worlds Part 1. So how about Part 2? Are you planning that?
Yeah, I mean, when I did the first one, I just wrote a ton of stuff. I wrote a bunch of stuff, and I had the guys that played on it, and I just said, let's just do as much as we can, So we ended up recording most of 2 albums. I mean, the second one, a couple of vocals, some guitar stuff to finish up. But like I said, after this, we're going to see what we're doing.
Yeah,
and maybe when I get back, maybe in the fall, maybe start writing some stuff for the band and finishing up this solo thing. I mean, there's plenty of time. There's no rush for anything. So just day by day, whatever happens. But with the solo thing, a lot of it's done. So it really wouldn't take too much.
So if you compare working for a Michael Romeo solo album compared to when you're in studio with Symphony X, what do you think is the main difference? You're calling the shots all the time.
No, it's the same. I mean, I mean, I'll write a lot of this stuff, but it's like, man, I mean, if someone's bringing something to the table, or oh man, what if I tried this? Like, I mean, so I'm open about that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, well, here's the song. I mean, don't change the whole thing, the essence of it, but to add and embellish on it. Yeah, I mean, that's what Otherwise, I would just use fake drums and bass and try to sing myself with a fucking voice corrector pitch thing. No. You want a guy to come in and do his thing. So,
yeah. So speaking of Symphony X, you're going to record again, and it's been, I think, 5 years since Underworld. Where do you think musically the band will go?
No, we honestly, I mean, we just talked about what our schedule is a little bit. It's like, oh, maybe when we get back, I'll try to put some ideas together. But we didn't really talk much about the music. I think it's just going to naturally go where it goes.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it definitely will be, heavy and, a little bit of progressive, a little bit of the symphonic element. Maybe pay more attention to melodies and things like that.
I was talking about that because I think Underworld was a lot more melodic than some of the a bit more accessible, I think, than the earlier albums to a bigger crowd.
So maybe a little more of that. Yeah. But who knows? I mean, it won't happen till we're down there working, or if I'm sketching out some ideas. But I think that's where it's going to end up.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like a rap record.
We can count on that.
Yeah, count on that.
Not rap on Symphony X. Yeah. So if you compare the scene in progressive metal when you were starting out in 25 years ago and now, how do you view it?
Shit's all fucked up now.
Yeah.
That's for sure, man. It's just different. Just everything. Everything from royalties, where we used to all be able to get by. Now it's really difficult with the streaming. The income. Every band I talk to is just fucking struggling. So and the scene, obviously every scene changes over time, and it's different. It's definitely different. It's definitely harder.
But I think because you sold out this, or you sold out the earlier venue, it was moved here because this is a bigger one.
That's great.
So that tells you something that people still want to come to.
That's the stuff that makes us just keep going.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, we're 10 years ago, whatever our royalty thing was, you know, we do a record, and then you start to see a little money. It's like, okay, now you don't really see that, but at least coming here and everybody's happy and they want to see the band play.
Yeah.
I mean, then we'll do this as long as we can do it.
A lot of the bands say that it's not profitable to make albums anymore. It doesn't make sense.
So I'm not the only one?
You lose money, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
But playing live is still something that people
But
do.
I mean, and that too, where a lot of bands don't want to record, and everybody's on the road. The whole market is just saturated. You know, there's so many bands. You know, even where I live, you know, on the East Coast, New York, New Jersey. I mean, there's every night there's a different band coming through, and it's like everybody can't go to every show or buy every shirt. So even that, you know, everybody's taking a little bit of a hit. You know, it's tough.
And it's the same kind of metal that people play at the same time. You know,
But
the
again,
same
maybe I will do a hip hop record. I don't know. Those guys seem to be doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but anyway, the digital thing is coming. You know, you cannot help it, but you're still going to put out physical CDs, and people still want to buy them.
I guess. I mean, I buy CDs and vinyl, even though I don't have a turntable, because I just know if it's a band I really like, you know, I know as a musician, as an artist guy, that if I buy a physical product, they're going to get a little extra money. So if it's like whatever record it is, whatever band that I like, it's like, yeah, they put something out, I'll buy it. You know, yeah. I mean, I'll listen on Spotify, or I'll rip something into my media player at home or something. But at the end of the day, I do buy it because I know it's gonna help them out a little bit.
And vinyl is coming back a big time now.
Yeah.
People buy those even more than the CDs, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Even
don't
here as
know
well.
if it's like that in the States. I don't think it's
Here it's really gone up.
really.
But the
Okay.
problem is that making vinyl is so expensive compared to making CDs, so that's why.
But I mean, I still think there's people out there that, that know that it helps the band.
Yeah.
You know, so they will, like me, I'm a perfect example. It's like, if there's some band I like, or a new band, or old band, don't matter, and they have something on me, I'm going to buy it. Because I know I'm helping them out a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause I want them to keep going, do another record that I can listen to.
So from your extensive back catalog, which record do you think is your favorite, if you had to choose one? Or are there all your children impossible to
Yeah,
choose?
I mean, they kind of are, but
What's your favorite?
man, that's tough. Iconoclast was my favorite because it was just heavy, and there's riffs everywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of riffs. But Underworld, I think Underworld's good because, it's a toss up between those two. Underworld definitely has the riffs. It's definitely a little heavier, a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
But I think on the new record, on Underworld, like you were saying, there's a little bit more of the melodic thing. There's still a lot of riffs, and there's still a lot of good playing, and there's a little bit of the progressive element. But the choruses, the melodic structure, some of the stuff, I think that's really cool too.
Yeah. So speaking of the new music, what is your favorite band from the new bands that are out?
And that's the thing. I don't see a lot of new bands.
Yeah.
I just don't see a lot of new metal bands. Especially in the States, I just really don't. There's not. It just seems to be a really difficult thing.
Yeah.
Because, years ago, if a band was starting out and they're busting their ass, and maybe a label would come see them, maybe a label would pick them up and kind of develop this band, and here's this new band, and it kind of went through that filter, and it's like, oh shit, these guys are great. Where now it's a little difficult to find that because just, every band, with the internet, it's just like, man, this one, check out my band, and it's like, man, maybe there's some good ones there, maybe there's some bad ones there. And I know a lot of the younger bands, they think it's cool. And it's like, oh man, we can have our stuff out there for everybody. But when there's 20 million bands all with their stuff out there, it's like, man, how am I supposed to find you guys and pay some attention to you guys? I have to go through endless amounts of other bands that maybe aren't as good or maybe I don't like. So, yeah, it's tough, I think, to find, a new band now. It's just different than it was. It was always like you knew if a band was on a label, they went through that thing, they busted their ass, and the label developed them a little bit, developing an artist. Right? That doesn't happen anymore. So by the time we hear it, it's It's like, oh yeah, man, these guys are fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Now it's a little different. Now you got to kind of look for it and hopefully find something. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's different. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, and these new bands keep coming in, but it's still the old stuff from the 80s or the 70s that resonates, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and I know even in my area, I know a lot of guys and bands, young kids, you know, what do we do? How do we get signed? Or how do we, I'm like, dude, I have no fucking clue anymore. You know, I just don't know. Because it's, you know, when we started, it was a different thing. You know, you had to, you know, work on your craft and get the band polished and give it to this label and, you know, oh, no, thanks. You know, send us some more shit. You know, so it took time. It was work. And now that doesn't really happen that much.
Yeah,
so
true.
like my advice is to like the kids, I'm like, man, I don't even know. You know, I really don't know. I mean, it's just different times.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's just harder to notice maybe some new band. You know, unless they are signed or some, you know, the next big whatever, da. But yeah, back just when we were coming up, there was just everybody. You know, it was Stradivarius and Dream Theater. It was just, there was so many bands going through the thing. We all knew each other. It was like a nice, and now it's a little different.
Yeah, Fate's Warning is one.
Yeah. I mean, all these guys.
Yeah.
Queensryche guys. All, you know, everybody. It was. Every time you looked, there was a band or a new band. You know, and now it's just a little different. There's still bands, I think. Still a lot of bands.
Yeah.
But it's just how we're getting the information on these bands and hearing the music. It's like I said, it's the filter thing that's not there. So it's like, you know, you can have some band that just, you know, needs years of work before they should be letting anyone hear anything, but you know, they're right next to Metallica, you know, on the Spotify thing. So it's a little more difficult.
Yeah. So you mentioned your favorite Symphony X album, but you've also played on a lot of other albums by other artists and bands. What stands out as your favorite experience from those?
I mean, I don't know if I really have a favorite. I mean, there's just been, you know, cool stuff over the years, and it's always a guy that we know, the band knows, or that I know, and it's like, oh, you want to play something? Like, yeah, sure, dude. You know, so it's just more like a laid back thing.
Yeah.
You know, like LePon's doing something, it's, you know.
Yeah, with
throw
Silent
something.
Assassins.
Yeah, he's like, oh, can you put a solo on here? It's like, yeah, dude, you know, and it's just a chill thing. It's not like a big thing. So that's pretty much where everyone was at until, you know, we said, let's do this tour. So here we are.
Here you are. It's great to have you here. Okay, any last greetings for the Finnish
Oh,
fans?
definitely a big thanks. Because I heard it was sold out. I'm like, oh man, you know, we got to come here more.
Yeah.
So we'll probably be here a lot more.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, I hope
so.
so.
Thank you, Michael. Great
Thank
talking
you.
to you.